it was the age of foolishness. Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. Just brushing up on some of my favorite literary classics. Even if a page turner like this isn't up your alley, did you know our libraries offer so much more than classic books? There's also things like passes to local museums. You can download ebooks onto your Kindle device. And super cool things like a team gaming program. Visit your local library and see all it has to offer.
This is Qiana.
I am the one and only Mr. Evans.
And this is the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club.
Brought to you by the Community Development and Training Center, aka.
See that?
Thank y'all for helping us redefine what's cool.
Yes.
Is the microphone moving? The microphone is not
moving. Who said it's not moving?
I said it ain't.
I'm looking at it. I am definitely looking at it, and it's moving on everywhere, all accords. So we're up and ready for this wonderful Monday.
Money making Monday.
Yes.
I
got it. I had to make sure that it was. First of all, the captions are there. Okay, so you're gonna get me because I always get you, and you're gonna tell me to turn mine down and look at you.
So what's going on this weekend in the Tampa area?
Well, I mean, so first of all, let's recap like the weekend and last week, right? It's money making Monday. What's on your mind? No, it ain't what's on your mind Wednesday. You need to wake up, Jabbar. Are you sure? Can y'all see him in here with these shades on? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you went to Tallahassee. You was there for 3 or 4 days.
No, I was there for
like 2.
Some days. We're gonna just say some days.
Okay.
So what about it?
Tell us about it. I mean, some people listened yesterday, but we recap on Sunday.
Well. I'll tell you that what's going on in Tallahassee right now is legislative session, and a lot of people in the community, do want to know what's going on. A lot of people in the community went up there to the legislative session. Big shouts out to the NAACP. Big shouts out to Florida Rising and all the other groups that have been taking people to Tallahassee to talk about the issues that matter the most.
Mm. And so what were you lobbying about?
Housing, social justice, social criminal justice reform, and a couple more issues around those issues.
Mm-hmm. Make sure you're talking into the mic.
Man, I am. You can't tell me what to do.
I can, and I will. You sound like the little kid. You ain't my mama. No, I can hear you.
My mama. I got 2 microphones. I can't hear myself on either one.
You can't.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry about it.
So, how was your weekend?
My weekend was really good. Yesterday, after the show, I went to the beach, the Skyway. Actually,
I seen you out there on the beach.
This is the first time I went out to the Skyway. For the beach. No sharks. You just making up stuff. So yes, and it was the Jeep crew. My brother has a Jeep, so
Jeep crew, man.
he's a part of Outcast Jeep crew. And part of it is that it was over 200 Jeeps there. So other Jeep crews came out too. So they put out a message like, yo, we're all going to the Skyway. Every crew is invited. So I know with our crew, we had people from Hernando, Polk County, Tampa, and St. Pete.
Yeah.
So it was really, really nice.
Yeah, I really want to give you a big shout out for being the adventurous one of the team. Because we ain't doing nothing but chilling hard.
No, and then Saturday I see Congratulations to all the children who won scholarships for Albert Woodard.
Okay, big shots out to them.
I saw that Dominique got one. Polk, a student here.
Okay, big shots out to Dominique.
Right. I don't know who else got it. So if y'all know, tag them in. Because you know how excited I was about the Albert Woodard scholarship.
Oh yeah, you was like they made the thing for you.
I know. I wish I could, because you know I would be a pilot. I definitely would be a pilot.
I bet you would.
Yes. What are you doing?
I'm looking for news. What are you talking about?
We're talking about this weekend, and then so what happened is you're not engaging, and it sounds like I'm talking to myself.
I am.
And we finna take a break. So you can put it.
I told you that you was the eventual one of the team. What do you want me to say?
Put down your phone.
How much you want me to talk about the beach I didn't go to?
Well,
big shout out to the Outcast Jeep crew.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Don't.
Yeah, I do. This is what happened on Monday morning. Y'all say good morning. I see we got some people on there.
Good morning, y'all.
Thank you. And then, okay, so the state of Black St. Pete.
Okay, yes. Back to seriousness.
Yes.
The state of Black St. Pete went down this past Friday. Big shouts out to all the panelists, everybody who thought it not robbery. Give us like your time, talent, and treasure. You can find it if you didn't come out. You can find it on Tampa Bay Breakfast Club page. And that's the state of the Black St. Pete. It was amazing.
Shauna say, good morning, Shayna. Shayna say, y'all not arguing on this good Monday. Good morning, peeps.
I just told her.
Yeah.
I ain't arguing. I told her.
You know, you just got to keep the guys focused because
I told her.
We're just having a slight disagreement. And you know what he do? He picked right up his phone and started strolling again. I need him to engage.
This is the problem in relationships right now. Women want men to put their phone down, but your phone's still up and on.
No, I'm not strolling on my phone.
You ain't got to stroll. I ain't actually, is you strolling or not? Okay.
So no, I'm not strolling. I'm engaging into the conversation, and all my phone is doing is being able for me to read the comments. So you know
we have some sad updates coming up. So yeah, we'll talk about it on the next side of the break.
Well,
some of the sad updates, and we ain't gonna talk about them right now.
No, start them now. Start them right now. Because we have 7 minutes. Updates. You can't drop a bomb and then don't do the updates on them. And it's because, okay, so I need help. What's going on, Crunk Coco? Because I'm in the station by myself. He's going to drop a bomb and then don't say anything. So what's the updates, Jabbar?
There are a lot of updates. And we're going to let you know at the 8:00 hour. So stay tuned in and tune back in.
So I'm going to tell you what's really going on.
What's going
Good
on?
morning. Is that he don't really have no updates. And then instead of yeah, and so he wanted to get his thoughts together. And instead of just running the story like we was and being engaged as he should,
yes,
he's going to do something else.
So this weekend we also had a healing space.
We did have a healing space
by Councilmember Brother John Muhammad and the Well for Life,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. LaDonna Butler. Big shots out to them for holding a space for people to gather their thoughts and their emotions, and if they need professional help, there were professional doctors out there. Big shots out to Dr. Brittany Peters, Russell Collins. Yeah, all the doctors that was out there participating. Thank y'all so much. Community needed that space. For those who did show up, it was something special.
Okay, so I missed it, and I'm so happy that the community was able to have a nice healing spot. So on the top of the hour, we are going to talk about mental health. I know if y'all seen the caption, we're talking about which is worse, a deadbeat dad or a deadbeat mom. And we're continuing the conversation that we had on yesterday. So, I mean, we're definitely going to want your thoughts in it, because mental health is so important here in our community, and we want to make sure that we're addressing the problems that we're having in our community and come up with a solution with the problems that we have. And then we know that we cannot like save everyone, but the people that we can help and say, we want to make sure that we can. And that's a part of what we do here at the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. Probably the most important part to me is the jewels and the knowledge that we give the community to make sure that they can function properly. And a lot of times we need to be healed from trauma that has happened from our childhood that we haven't addressed, and it goes into our adulthood, and it dictates our everyday, and we don't even realize. Good morning, Qiana. Crunk Coco say, where your helmet at? I got mines. Okay, yeah. But on the serious note, you know, we know that there was a tragic loss here in our community of a 20-year-old woman and her 2-year-old son. And then reportedly, you know, allegedly the father of the son is who, you know, took their lives. And I may be reporting wrong about this, but I heard that it was his party that they were attending earlier that day. And then they're also saying something was mentally also wrong with the young man who ended up taking these the lives of these people. So we definitely want to talk about that. So today it's gonna be a little heavy, but I think it's gonna be something that the community need. We definitely need to talk about it and address it, because one thing is, we don't want to wake up to the news about someone else taking somebody's life in our community. And then we also had the young man on 28th that had the standoff with the police, and they said something was mentally also wrong with him, and he started shooting at the police. So we really just want to address that, and how does that look in our community, and how can we help save these people and save our community. So that's what we're going to be talking about at the top of the hour. So I hope y'all are ready. And I mean, honestly, is Monday. So it is Money Making Monday. So we shout out all businesses.
Big shots out.
Wait, what standoff? Yes, Shayna, there was a standoff. This happened like Wednesday or sometime last week. And what happened is I think the police was called around like midnight or something like that. They finally got the guy out the house after the standoff of it was 3 something in the morning. Everybody is okay. The guy did get shot, but he went to the hospital. No officers got shot. And from the reporting is he had visitors in his home. It was a room and board, and 3 people was sleeping in his bed when he got there. So this is kind of like, you know, a real life 3 Little Bears situation that went left.
Yeah, so it's 8:00 hour. Y'all tune in to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Carol Festa Radio 99 Jams, the bird.
Yes, so we're gonna take a quick break. And be back at the top of the hour. Please tag a friend, tell them to wake up. It's Monday. And yeah, so we can get this day started. See y'all in a little bit.
The Eritrean government has said that without a properly functioning economy, national service is a way of providing young people with jobs. It still continues in Eritrea, and young people continue to leave the country.
It's the main driver, not just to those of us who have experienced the national service.
Hello, I'm Gabe Ortiz, and this is WEDU Arts Plus. Based out of St. Pete, the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club is a morning radio show about hip-hop life and urban culture. Meet the hosts who inform and empower their listeners.
I'm your boy. Edmund. I go by Mr. Edmund. My role, I'm a host and I'm co-founder.
My name is Brother John Muhammad, Your Brother John, YourBrotherJohn.com. And my role on the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club is host or co-host.
I just go by Qiana. Sometimes you may hear the guys call me Q. I may say Q just depending on my personality that day. And I'm the female of the crew. I think I keep balance when you look at the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. So that's my role.
And I'm Bruce Moore Jr. A lot of people do know Bruce Moore Jr., obviously being born and raised here and going to school here, but there's many more people that know Reno.
St. Pete is small, and so the good things and bad things that come with a small city, you know, everybody knowing each other, of course, would be one of the pluses.
My neighbors were not only just my neighbors, they became my family.
Trying to put that back now, like really getting back to a place where we know our neighbors and we look out for each other. It was a St. Pete that existed, you know, south of Central, and then there was another St. Pete that existed north of Central and downtown. It was a struggle then, and I think it's still, you know, somewhat a struggle for black people in the city of St. Pete.
Even with every step of progress we make, it's still a struggle to, implement that progress.
Did y'all hear about the weed college, the first cannabis college in
Orlando? Talk to us,
Florida itself.
Yeah, I've been looking at it.
This is serious, y'all.
Over a year ago.
If you got the charges, go and get the degrees, King. You got years of experience, man. It ain't like you come into a classroom with no data.
Elon Musk said that a drug dealer knows how to manage and run a business better.
I can't believe that.
The real facts, man.
I'm all about education. But what I'm saying is that we carry this industry on our backs.
The way we started the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club, Jabbar approached me about what could we do, how can we do something together, and then an opportunity to promote Amendment 4. Amendment 4 is the, voting rights restoration to returning citizens. We were able to negotiate a deal where we got like 30 minutes on the radio, got 99 jams to talk about, Amendment 4 and other local, policies.
Hallway, and we hugged each other very tightly. She's bigger than me, and I hugged her very tight, and we stood there while everything was shaking because of the explosions. I have no idea we have survived. There were 6 casualties. 6 people just died.
In Russia, authorities say they arrested a woman, Daria Trepova, in connection with the bombing Sunday, which killed the prominent pro-war military blogger Vladlen Tatarsky in St. Petersburg. The Russian ambassador to Belarus said Moscow will station.
It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. Oh, hi. I didn't see you there, just brushing up on some of my favorite literary classics. Even if a page turner like this isn't up your alley, did you know our libraries offer so much more than classic books? There's also things like passes to local museums. You can download ebooks onto your Kindle device. And super cool things like a team gaming program. Visit your local library and see all it has to offer.
occupied West Bank, a Palestinian man was fatally shot by an Israeli soldier hours later near the town of Beit Umar. Witnesses say Israeli forces would not let medics access the injured 24-year-old who bled to death. The killings came as the cabinet of Israel's far-right Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said it had approved a plan.
Okay, guess what? We're back.
Welcome back.
Oh, no. Okay, so Jabbar is like at a 3.5. Everybody knows that I need him at like at least a 6, a 5.5, 6, somewhere around there. 10 is a lot.
I just took some stimulants.
Please do.
Give him a second to keep in.
Well, we're back for the top of the hour. This is Qiana.
I am the one and only Mr. Edwards.
And this is the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club.
Brought to you by the New Image Project.
Better known as See That. And we are what?
Thank you for helping us redefine what's cool.
Yes. Okay, so we're back.
What the business is.
Okay, so you wanted to talk. So, I mean, I kind of gave them a spill of what we're going to talk about this second hour. But before we get in, do you have something to say?
Do I have something?
Because you're the one that said that you had some stuff that we need to talk about.
You made me close my phone and it's gone.
You went on a break.
After you said close my phone.
No, you was still, everybody that's watching you saw you still on your phone the whole time. And we went on a break. And you took your phone with you. And then before we even logged in, I said, did you get all the information you need? And you said yes.
So I would like to raise a question.
Okay, go ahead.
What's on your mind Monday? And what's on my mind is, why do women prosecute men for being on their phones when they are on their phone? This is a universal thing here. I'm not the only person this happens to. See, you just demonstrating the inequities.
So I know that you said,
cell phone use.
Okay, so I know that you said that you were thinking about going to law school. And I'm one of them people that says, wait, hold on. And I'm one of them people that want you to achieve all your dreams and your goals. But if that is your layout, I'm going to tell you that you are in the right field and do not go to anybody law school, because anybody you defend will not. Yes, you are trash. This is terrible. Terrible. Is that this is your layout? Is you going to talk about phones? It's two people in here that's in the studio, you and I, right? And the only one that's on their phone is the one person that's doing the whole layout about, about the phone usage. So, we're going to say is that, like, women like people, well, people in general want people to engage.
That's right.
And then when you're on the phone in the setting like this, it's hard for people to engage with you.
Kind of like other settings, right?
Kind of.
Right. So
but
this could be applied to a different setting, right? Right. I'm just saying, don't get prosecuted.
Oh, I'm not gonna get prosecuted, because one thing is,
indictment papers mailed to your house.
You're the one that's going to be prosecuted, because all the evidence is, first of all, okay, so if we're in a court of law, y'all, right? We're watching Jabbar right now on film play with his phone and tell us how
I'm preparing for the upcoming story,
which I asked him, and then he didn't even have it. So he's not really preparing. He's just doing what he want to do. And I'm going to sip my coffee on that one.
So, okay, this next story.
Okay, let's go.
How you invest your time is just as important as how you invest your money. Double click. Double click. Talk to me.
Go, run it.
You can spend a lot of time searching for something, but if you're looking for the wrong places, you will never find it. So this is kind of appropriate for this time right now, right? Invest time in places where there's high concentration of what you're looking for. They say investing time can be just as important as investing money. What do you think?
I agree.
Okay, that's very engaging.
It is, because that was like so random. But okay, so here,
that was random.
that really was. Okay, so no. Okay, so let's talk about it. I mean, honestly, so I'm gonna say my time is probably even more important than my money. And one is because I can never get my time back. But you can always remake your money. Your money recycles, it goes, you make money, all the above. But the biggest thing for me is the loss of my time. And this is why I stopped doing like free consultings to a degree, is because you will go and tell people, give them a lot of knowledge, and I'm just in general. And then what will happen is they won't take what you say, or they will and they'll implement it other ways, right? And so the waste of my time is way more important to me than the waste of my money, because I get up every day to grind for my money. And then I also wake up every day and make sure that the time that I'm using is used wisely, and so that I can make money.
Okay, I can understand that. I think it takes money. It takes time to make money. So I think that the time is more important, and how you invest your time is key to investment. Period. The biggest investment you make is the investment of how you spend your time, talent, and treasure.
Right. So when people tell you like, I don't have time for this, you know what I mean? I'm one of those people is make me a priority. I'm not an option. Type of person. And I mean, I don't need all your time, but I do need the time that you say that you're gonna give. What's so funny about that? What you think?
What I'm saying is,
go ahead.
That I agree with you.
Yeah, like don't get, and I'm one of them people too. Like I like to feel special, so don't give me the time that you have left over. Like don't call me when you ain't got nothing else to do. Be like, oh yeah, I was thinking. Oh,
are you serious?
Yeah,
you get called when. Come on. What kind of stipulations are these?
I mean, these are.
Don't call me when you ain't got nothing to do. When you.
Like if I'm the final thought, like if I'm the last thought of the day, like if I'm like, if I wasn't included in the original invite, I don't think I want to be invited just because. If I wasn't a part of the thought, then I feel like I'm not important.
So, in other news,
I'm just saying.
Listen, hey, I can't argue with your feelings. How you feel now? I won't. So, in other news, the city of St. Pete had an event at Silver Lake Park. Big shots out to 13th Street Heights.
Okay, so I knew nothing about
Silver
it. Let's
Lake
talk
Boys,
about it.
Big shots out to President Antonio Brown. Big shots out to Bump. Big shots out to everybody over there at Silver Lake. It was an amazing event, man. Quest for Life was there.
Okay.
The players. You see, I got my band on.
Okay.
Quest for Life. So yeah, it was.
And the Pledge for Life is the one for the
violence and not being with the guns and not doing no violent stuff.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
So when was the event at Silver Lake?
This was Saturday.
What time?
This was right before the healing space.
Oh, okay. So then we had two different healing spaces, kind of.
I mean, this was more like a vendor space where vendors was out there with resources. It was a little different.
It was a little different, but it was still a nice turnout.
I mean, I didn't stay long. I just kind of left.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know how the turn was, but I would say it's a lot of big things happening in the community. Make sure y'all stay around and lay around for it. There's a lot of resources out there. Get to the resources. Get to the bag.
Okay. I agree. I mean, St. Peter's full of resources. We just need people to come and get them. So, okay, so we're solution based. So let's talk about let's go back to where we was at the end of the hour. And we talked about the murders that happened here in our community and how it impacted the community itself, right? And so I threw out there before, and tell me what y'all think too, is that we really, I think in schools at this point we need to implement some type of mental health um program where there are therapists at school on a normal basis that is just teaching people proper coping skills to everyday life, right? And I do think we need to implement something for hold on one second, sorry about that. Um Conflict resolution.
Yes, I think I agree with that. And then a little more bigger, we got to straight go to the source of the problem. A lot of these young kids and adults don't know how to handle rejection. They don't know how to handle being told no, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just one of those things in our community where we just got to address it. We got to face it head on.
I agree. I mean, so conflict resolution is a big thing in our community, right? And I mean, and it's not just our community because a lot of people do not know how to handle their emotions healthily.
How to resolve situations.
No, they don't. And so
without violence, without
and using your words, like I have this thing is when you argue, you should argue to be heard and not to be hurtful. And a lot of times people hit below the belt when you're upset and you try to be hurtful because at this point you're angry and you want them to feel the anger that you felt at that point. And so you hit below the belt. And now then we have situations where it has now escalated to something that we don't need it to be. So now nobody knows what conversation these two young people had in that apartment where it ended up that two lives were taken. And we need to figure out a way to stop this. Guns are not going anywhere. Even though this wasn't he didn't use a gun, he used a knife in here. Very, very sad. And I think the girl was cut or stabbed like 100 times. And so that was a lot of anger. And I mean, you got to be exhausted with that type of action when you're looking at to stab or cut somebody 100 times.
A gruesome scene. And we're praying for the family, Jeffrey family, all the family members and friends, because these are hard times. There are professionals out there. Talk to your professional. If you need to talk to somebody to Well for Life, has clinicians and people for you to talk to, because you don't have to suffer alone.
Mm-hmm.
And there's people out there that want to help, that want to be a part of helping.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a rough time for our community right now.
It really is.
That's why we had the healing space. That's why we did some of the stuff that we did.
Right. Because I mean, honestly, we don't want to keep hearing about this. And then the summer is starting. Well, the summer is not even here yet. We're just in spring. So yeah, we can get ahead of the 8 ball before anything else happened. That'd be amazing. Um Okay, and Shayna say this is an episode of Snap for sure. To the families and everyone, the prayers go out to the family and everyone affected, right? Because this is like a ripple effect, and it affects everyone in the community. And if you want to join into this conversation, please give us a call 637 is the number. So that yeah. Did I say that? Yeah, I said it right. 2416 or did I say 13? Okay. So I'm on there. But I put the oh, here we go. Caller, introduce yourself.
Hi, good morning. My name is Courtney. How y'all doing?
Great, Courtney. Go ahead.
I was just thinking when you were talking about the mental health for the schools, there are some schools that do have mental health classes. Not like you have to take for like for a grade, but they just like shut down and just they have like a mental health class or mental health discussions. I know my daughter, her school does that, and sometimes they don't even know when it's going to happen. It just happens, and they have discussions about things that are going on in their life, and so forth and so forth. But I also want to say this, sometimes when because I know I had my children, I was almost 28 or something like that, 27. I had my first daughter. So when you're young, and sometimes when you have like the kids and stuff, you know how. With daddies and all that, and you get upset and you say things, and I'm not saying it's this young lady's fault, because I was in tears about the whole situation. But when you say things, sometimes we say things so hard, or we argue about things that are so minute, like you ain't get the pampers and all that kind of stuff, and then people get upset, and then he might have been dealing with something different. It's just so sad that we have these conversations like this. I just feel like even as young people, before you even get into a relationship, you just have to learn how to deal with people, period. The way you talk to people, the way you have discussions. And I just think that those kind of things can de-escalate these kind of events.
I agree. Thank you, Courtney, for calling in.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Have a good day.
Now, see, since I don't have any school-age children in there, I didn't even know about that. But I think that is really dope that the school is implementing into the mental health aspect of it. And you're right, we don't know what like the conversation, and then and not even the age thing. Like I say, a lot of times people argue. When they argue, they say hurtful stuff because they're trying to hurt you, and they're not trying to solve the problem at that point in time. And so again, if we can come up with healthy ways to communicate and have conflict resolution, then we can eliminate that. It's okay to walk away from an argument. It's okay to calm down and not say what's on your mind at that point in time. Like, I'm one of them people, I don't like to argue when I'm mad. Because I never want to say something hurtful that I can't take back. And even though I can apologize for what I said, those words still constantly will replay in that person's mind constantly. Yeah. And they used to say this saying that sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. And that's a lie. Words stick with you even longer than your broken bones, because your bones will heal, but your memory will constantly replay what somebody says to you constantly. And especially if it's someone that you love, and somebody that you respect, because then you're looking for some type of approval from them. Yeah. And when they tell you something about yourself that you don't like, or something hurtful, then you're stuck in a place. Do you want to fix it? Is it my fault? And there's a lot of questions that goes along in this process. And that is also a sign of abuse. When you attack people, and people don't realize that, and you think abuse is just physical, but it's definitely mental as well. And so when we tap into these relationships, and our foundation is already shaky, hurt people. You know what I mean? And so if you're not handling your emotions properly, then you will lash out to the people that means the most to you, and you end up hurting them.
Yeah, it's definitely a sad situation, sad occurrence.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to move through it. We're going to be strong. We're going to move through it. We're going to be strong for the people who here and the people who ain't here. And, get to where we need to go, because we got to take another step. We can't stay stuck in time. Let's move forward.
No, we really cannot. So since you said move forward, we're going to talk about the impact of parents, because we're going to stay on this mental health today a little bit, but we're still going to talk about the impact parents have on the children's lives. And I saw someone make a post. Hold on 1 second. And the post was, which one is more detrimental, a deadbeat mom or a deadbeat dad? And we talk about this. We talk about the dads all the time, the absentee dads. And okay, before I go on to this, we also know that I'm an advocate for Black men, and I know a lot of great Black men that are part of their community, of their children's lives in our community, doing great things. But we're talking about the ones that are absentee parents not just the dads, but let's talk about the moms too, and the impact that parents themselves have on their children and shaping them into being model citizens. And I know we do what we can for our children. And sometimes we fail, sometimes we don't hit the mark. But as parents, we have to address it and be honest with ourselves. And we have to give our children a nice healing space when we have been the ones that have hurt them.
So which one is it the mother or the father?
So I'm gonna go with and don't y'all jump on me. I'm gonna almost say it's bad either way, but I think it's more detrimental for the child when the mother is a deadbeat mother.
Okay, why you say that?
I just see the repercussions of it. I've seen it on either end. The scenario itself is not good either way, but for a child, for the person who carried you in their womb and have this immediate connection to you, and when you're not loved properly by your mother, then because we are the nurturers typically, you know what I mean, it then puts doubt in your mind for the rest of your life. Even with fathers as well, we see girls that's looking for guys, looking for love in the wrong places. For guys, what I've seen is that when they come across someone that can love them properly, all they can probably think about is that how can they love me properly when my parent or my mother did not.
So I would say that the most hurtful parent is the is not the mother, is not the father.
Okay.
It's just the deadbeat parent.
Okay.
I think the responsibilities of parenthood is like it's mixed all up in a bag, and we got to sometimes understand that is one worse than the other. No, they're both bad.
Oh, so I just said that. I agree with you. They're both bad.
And I'm not taking a side.
No. But I
kind of
took, but I took a side because I put which one
is the nurturer. But I'm just saying that the both chime in for us both. But what I'm feeling, because I do agree having a deadbeat mother is hard, but it's just as hard with not having that father around.
It is.
So it's like we just got to come from around those corners and just really be like straight up with it. Both parents are needed in the home. Both parents are needed in the child's life. It's just
yes,
it's the number one factor, and who's gonna be the deadbeat and who's not gonna be the deadbeat. I mean,
honestly, we hope that neither one of them are the deadbeat, right? But in reality, we know that there are, right? And the impact.
Deadbeat? That's just not doing for your children. What is deadbeat?
I mean, that's just everybody defines different stuff differently. Like I can give you my definition of a deadbeat, and then somebody else will come in there and do it. And I mean, honestly, for me, it's more so the time, but financial, you need to help as well. No, you're not supposed to do parenting by yourself. It takes two people to make a baby, so that means it takes two people to raise a baby. And then not only does it take those two people, it takes team. So it's a whole village that helps you throughout raising your children, right? And then when a key component is missing, you have to work even harder to make sure that your child is getting everything that they need. And it is impossible for one person to be able to cover the front, the back, and the left and the right. You know what I mean? So you need your teammate in here to make sure that you're covering all bases.
Yes.
Right. And so, but I'm talking about this is because I've seen a lot of people that are damaged from their parents. And I've heard parents who have damaged their children say, like, I forgave myself, God done forgave me, so they better get on the same program. That's not how you do it. You know what I mean?
That might not be the best of parent from the beginning, right? I heard what he said that, and you just got to think, a lot of people, ain't evolved, and in a lot of their minds, they feel they have grown, and evolve. You know, they spoken with their creator, they spoken with themselves, but they missing one of the most important elements is that other person, that child who's becoming an adult or a young adult. And so that's still another bad period.
And you want me to tell you what I've also learned in this journey called life, and I'm looking at this. Parents want respect, right? Just for being their parents. But then I see the dynamics of it is some of parents are not parents to these children. And so they have disconnected, and then you get upset when they treat you like somebody out on the street, but they have no connection to you. And then society looks at them crazy when they're cutting off their parents because you're supposed to forever love your parents, right? But your parents are supposed to forever love you. But unfortunately, we see that that's not always true.
There's a lot of trauma to deal with.
It really is. When you look at it, I mean, and this is not just a day episode. This is a whole series that we need to attack. But I just thought it was important today to kind of address this mental health, and like it starts at home a lot of times. You know what I mean? The lack of, and I know that that a lot of times we do the best we can, and sometimes, and unfortunately, that's just not enough. But if you use your team, then you can accomplish your goal. And a lot of times we think that we could go out there and do it by ourselves because we think we're Superwoman and Superman, but that's not necessarily true.
Well, what's up?
Come on in. Oh, we got a guest in the building. Come on. Get in there. Happy belated birthday, Bo Bism.
Bo Bism.
Straight from Tulum. Straight off the plane, right here in the studio. So this is what we talking about. You can put it on. I don't know. Just put it on anyway. So this is what we were talking about when you walked in here. What is worse, a deadbeat mom or a deadbeat? But okay, I went with the mom. Jabbar went with both of them, which I agree. What do you say, sir?
Both are like detrimental, but to me it feels like the mom is extra.
Why is that?
I had both. I just, most people I had this conversation with, they won't get it because they had one or the other. I didn't have either. You know what I'm saying? They were in my life, but it was like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was off. It wasn't whatever. So, as far as a mom, I just feel like, you know, this is you calling for mama. Like it's always my mama.
Right.
With everything, like your foundation is supposed to be from your mom. You know what I'm saying? Like school, everything. You never see
the nurturer.
The nurturer.
Right.
So when I was coming up, I had, I was raised with my grandmother, which was my dad's mom. See what I'm saying? My story a little different than most people. I was raised from my dad's side.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So just seeing other kids with moms and going, you know what I'm saying? My grandmother was trying to be that, but psychologically, you like, dang, this ain't my mom. But the first person I called mom was my grandma. I was with my grandma since I was baby, like little,
right,
6 or 7 months old. So it was different for me, but knowing that I have a mom, and she's not here, and then knowing I had a dad, a lot of my partner's dad was my influence on, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I knew that, but just not to have my mama, it was different than not having my dad. I always knew because I was raised with my great grandparents. So my granddaddy was always out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He going to work. He gone. So
he taught you how to
not being
and just being able to provide. But when you look at the woman, it was the nurture. Like she the one who, when you cry, she dry your tears and tell you, you know what I mean?
No man ever put a Band-Aid on me.
And that's a problem.
It was always the mama though, but that's who was always, you ran home. You not running to get your daddy. I don't care what's going on. You running the mama. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's about right. You know what I mean? That's about right. But I think that both parents, like, is key. Because one can supplement for the other.
Well, I agree with you, but when you don't have either, it's a whole nother. But a lot of people don't, because a lot of people are being raised with their grandparents. Now, I will tell you, this is also what I've seen. What I've also seen is people who don't have their parents in their lives and their family get together. It's something about your parent. You always want your parent. Like, I don't care how bad they are. I don't care how bad they are. You always want your parent. And you can have the best life ever. Your grandparents, your aunties, everybody can all. You will always see children whose parents are outside their life. They always feel like they're mistreated, and they have everything that everybody else has, but it wasn't from their parent or their mother or their father. And I think the impact, because society has painted this picture that it's okay to not have the father in your life, is that we put the emphasis on the mother. And because society has made the mother the staple of the house, is that when that leaves out, that is the core of the house. That is the love, that is the nurture. This is everything. This is the heartbeat of the house, is your mother, right? Your father buys the home, right? Your father buys the house, your mother makes it the home, right? Your daddy pays the bill, bring the money in, your mama pay the bills and make sure that the food is in there. So she is the heart of the house. And when the heart is taken, look how cold you are at that point. And this is why I will say that a mother's absence can be even more detrimental than a father's. Now, not saying that the father is not important, because you need both. You definitely need both. But when your mother is taken away from you, it gives you a different coldness that you don't, that you can't kind of bounce back from.
Well, let me throw this out there. So with the parents, we're talking about the parents, right? But what about these grandparents, right? They're raising these children, right? All, like, I grew up in my grandma's house, right? And I got both my parents. But grandma was like stable,
right?
You know what I mean? That was the owned house. That was like the stable datum at one point.
Yeah.
And we're now the grandparents, right? We're now the grandparents, right? We young grandparents, but we the grandparents. So some of that responsibility for to come back on us, because when the parents was missing, who came through? Granny.
Right.
Granny and them came through. Now we granny and grandpa. You know what I'm saying?
I'm lady.
I'm still daddy.
I'm lady.
I got a 4-year-old son. So. But it's the thing with me. I just had my son. I have 4 girls, 4 daughters, and I can't do it. You understand what I'm saying? I brung two of my girls live with me, and it's like, I'm a dad. I don't know I can't be this. I tried. Give them everything they want. You know what I'm saying? Just give them whatever they want, and it's like, okay, then it's not the same. You need a mama. I get more. Who gonna get more points? A single mom or a single dad?
Single dad.
See what I'm saying? Because it's like, when I say I'm a single dad, motherfucker, like, yo, they're like, no, for real. I said,
but yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get more because it's supposed to be the mom who supposed to raise, like.
It is. So my brother Emil was. So you're a single dad, because I remember before you were single with my.
I'm married now, though.
Yeah, you are married and no more single. But
Congratulations.
But my brother Emil was a single dad. You know what I mean? But his mom came in and stepped in and was that mother figure up there. And I see the struggles of my niece. I see the struggles of my cousins who mother was on drugs when they were younger. And you know what I mean? And our family gave them everything, but they still feel like they were shorted from everything else. And nobody, if you know our family, nobody is out. It don't matter. You could be the kid around the block. If we're doing something, everybody welcome to come. So we're not gonna leave out our own if we ain't, we're gonna collect everybody else throughout the process. But the foundation of what love looks like is formed by your parents. Because your father is supposed to be, for women, their first superhero, the person they look up to and they idolize. And even the mother, you want to look at, like, if you've done it right, when your kids get grown, you are their mentors, right? They look up to you. They look at when you do it right, they want to strive to be like you. And if you're a parent and you done it right, you want your children on the flip side to be better than what you were. You know what I mean? You want to give them all the tools that you have, and hopefully they sharpen their tools and become even greater than you are. Right?
Right. It's with all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And having all this mental health, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as far as me, I never knew I always got in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was just, and then having therapy as a child, growing up with therapy all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It made me realize that I'm missing my parents.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm acting out.
Right.
I got everything. You understand what I'm saying? I was the only person with the Nintendo, the first person with this, the first, you know what I'm saying? But I'm still cutting up in school. I got everything. I'm playing every sport. I'm doing, you understand what I'm saying? I'm missing my parents. That's what's my issue. Not knowing you do it. It's unconscious. We doing it.
Yeah.
So now, when you say this, I'm getting everything. I could bring in grown people as far as relationships. You can be with somebody else, but it's that one person. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they give me everything, but I want it from that one. I want them to do it.
Right.
And that's what we are feeling as children.
Yes.
My grandma, my uncles, everybody was
Them to do it.
But
and you can't appreciate it until you get grown, because when you're a child, you don't understand, and it's confusing to you, like, especially when you have parents who have other siblings, right? Mm-hmm. And then they still have that other because houses are broken up. Right? And so maybe, like, I was the first child, so I went to the grandma house, right? But then she had two more, and the grandma said, I can't take no more. I can't take no more. That's and then what happens is that the person that's with the grandma feel resentment. Well, wait, hold on. If my mama can have them, why they don't have me?
Not knowing
that it's bad over there. It's real bad over there.
But I'd rather be bad with my mama.
And I seen you rather be bad with your mama. And I seen, so I also seen it in real life where a family has took in the nephew and the grandson, right? And they have a really good life, but he still wanted to go to his mom. And now his life is not as good. His mama don't have nowhere to stay. You know what I mean? But you know what? Kids would rather be homeless with their mama.
Oh my God.
You been in love with that person.
Homeless with their mama, then in a house with the grandma.
Or someone else, because you constantly yearn for that connection. And then what happens is, when a young child does not get the love that they want, they become adults that do not know how to accept proper love. And then when they get something good, they lash out because it's foreign to them. It feels good, but you're like, nah, this gotta be wrong. This ain't love. This ain't love, because you know what? How my mama showed me love, or my parents showed me love, was abandonment. You know what I mean? Distrust. You know what I mean? Not being consistent. Is a lot of different. Hello, caller. Go ahead, chime in.
Good morning. It's Sharonda. How y'all doing this morning?
Good morning, Sharonda.
I see y'all got my brother on there, Bo.
Yeah.
Congratulations, my brother.
He kicked off the Aries season 2 with the birthday early. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
But I was just gonna piggyback off of what you just said. During COVID, one of my cousins had passed away. She was young and she had 4 children. my cousin that has already 3 children didn't want her kids to be separated. So she took in the other 4. So that means she has 7 kids at her house being a single mom. Time and time, they take the oldest boy over to one of my cousin's house, and they kind of spoil him. He then started getting in trouble, only because he feels like, why are they taking me away from my siblings at certain times? And they don't take my siblings with me or something. So I understand like that anger, that frustration, or whatever. So now that he's seeking counseling, he's getting, to talk about it more. But a lot of these kids need to go talk to somebody or see somebody or be around somebody who they can talk to and feel comfortable with.
Yes.
No, that's right.
I agree.
That's 100%. Because
all right, I'm out. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you for that. But that's 100% because honestly, it is odd going from one. Cause that's how I grew up. I grew up in my grandma's house while the rest of my family, brothers and sisters, lived with my mom. You know what I'm saying? I was the one that couldn't get it right. You get what I'm saying? So I seen that. You know what I'm saying? And it is like something you got to check yourself with, though. You know what I'm saying? Because I think I understood.
You did.
I wanted to be grown. I did. I wanted to be grown.
You thought you did, but but you act out. Look, you acted out.
That was part of that. That was part of it. You know what I'm saying?
That was it. It was your act out. Your history, your past tell you where your trauma is at, right? When you start to misbehave and act out for no reason, something in your life changed to make you change your personality and your attitude at that point in time. Your outlook in life is no longer the same outlook, right? And now you're trying to do adult things and figure out adult situations at a child age. Yep. You're trying to figure out why my mother or my father is not here. And then you want to blame yourself for it.
You can't put it together. We got a comment.
Okay, go ahead. Read them.
Aria says, as parents, we have to hope we had the chance to learn how to raise children. It's a generational curse that plays a role deeply, and also the age plays a role. We got another one. Aria says, nature versus nurture. So some people want that nature over nurture. If the mother is definitely, especially if she's disconnected paternally.
I've been in my situation is like, you also, even if you have both parents, right? We have to be on the same page.
Yeah.
Because I have the situation where my kid's mom, they on some, hate me campaign, and they're projecting that onto my kids. So my kids are confused. Like, my mama telling me to hate you, but you ain't, what are you doing? You doing the right thing.
Right.
So they're confused. Like, I don't want to, what is that? Disappoint my mom or go against my mom, but she's telling me that your wife is not my mama. Like, you don't gotta do what they say. You don't gotta. That's not your mama. Type stuff.
So we had this question kind of on Ask Qiana. All right. My husband, the husband say the wife wouldn't let him discipline the child. And he said that he's basically bouncing. I think that's kind of how it is. And I don't disagree with that. I mean, real. Because so the reality of everything is that if you're not going to be with the parent of your child, someone else is. And the also reality is somebody else is going to play a role as parenting your child. If you don't want nobody else to play that role, then you need to vet properly and need to stay with the parent.
Stay in position.
In your child, right. But you want to make sure it's a healthy situation. Let me throw that out there. But when you have to trust that the other parent has the child best interest. And that whoever they are bringing in the situation also gonna do that, right? Go ahead.
Co-parenting.
Yes.
Co-parenting is such an underrated thing, but a lot of times we're not in relationships with the parent of our child.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to use co-parenting skills. We would love for everybody to be married, living in the same household.
Mm-hmm.
We would love that. The reality is that ain't how the cookie crumble. Right. We have to get a better co-parenting relationship with our other parents.
So I've seen some great co-parenting, right? But
I will imagine when it go right.
So if you honestly, once we figured out how to co-parent, it was amazing. Like we don't argue; it's real smooth.
You got somebody to help you when you need it. It's
what
smooth.
happens is you have a team player, right? And your emotions have to be taken out of the situation. Usually, you can't co-parent properly. Because somebody is telling you what to do with your personal life, not with your child, but with your personal life. If you're not with them, unfortunately, you can't tell them that such and such can't be around them. That is not your place, unfortunately. And you think that it is, but it's not.
We have
once you meet my situation is with right now with my situation with my wife right now, I'm not used to 90% of women I ever dated who were single moms, the daddy was never in the picture at all. So right now, my situation, he has a dad.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, call his daddy. Mm-hmm. But my house, my rules. Most women want you to help with the kids, pay bills, do all this, but when it's time to chastise a child, they get in the way. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I ain't saying physically.
No, because we talked about it. It's discipline in many ways.
Chastise a child, then you want to be like, hold on. What damn? Okay, well, hold on when these bills need to get paid then.
And I'm going to tell you what happens is when you're not on the same page, you're teaching your children how to be disrespectful and not to respect
I don't
authority.
Argue. I hate arguing in front of kids.
You shouldn't.
I'm like, yo, we'll deal with this some other time.
Can we talk about this later?
But it's hard dealing with somebody who's I'm a walk away guy. I'm out. I ain't got time. I done been to jail. I done been through all that. I done put my hands on women who I felt like was being disrespectful, and they do nothing but hurt me in the end. So now, guess what? I'm out of here. You argue with yourself. I'm out. I'm not arguing in front of children because I know what it brings. I have memories from a kid. Like, okay, and it's like we're taught this. We're taught these things. You don't wake up, I'm gonna go bust his windows. I'm gonna slash her tire or whatever you're gonna do. You seen this happen.
Mm-hmm.
So we teaching our kids how to treat each other. And when they see us argue, if I ever had an argument with my wife in front of my kids or a disagreement, hey, baby, guess what I do? I make sure they see me apologize to her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I was wrong for that. You know what I'm saying? You was right. You was correct. And guess what? Each one on, hey, yo, I was wrong. I take each one of my kids. Hey, I was wrong. You know what I'm saying? I had to straighten that. You know what I'm saying? And I talk to them. Like, yo,
communication is the key.
I'm not giving you the green light to act like this here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got a lot of stuff out of me. You ain't even near where I'm at.
Yeah, this unacceptable.
You know what I'm saying?
You can't do that. Yeah,
but guess what? Hey, yo, that ain't cool. Us cussing and all that ain't how it's supposed to go. You know what I'm saying? We supposed to resolve it and come back together. I don't want you to see, because most people relationships is make up, break up, because they don't know how to deal with it. Guess what? I'm not trying to pass that along.
Right, because you want to give your kids healthy tools to be able to sustain through life, especially in a relationship, because one of the most important things that you have is the partner that you choose to spend your life with.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? This is how I go back to foundation, but you're building a foundation with these people, and you want to make sure that your kids see a healthy and loving relationship, so that the narrative that they were taught is different. You know what I mean? Or what the narrative that we were taught, they are not taught that. And so that
not
they
passing it on.
Right. We want the buck stop with us.
That's right.
I got a question.
Okay,
this
go.
is a serious question. I know a lot of people who are dealing with this. You have your co-parenting.
Mm-hmm.
The other parent is detrimental. their way of working things,
and that's so
is not good.
So I'm gonna tell you this is a really hard one because again, a kid always wants their parent, right? And then you want to make sure to allow them to have that parent, but sometimes there are situations where you have to remove your child.
Right.
You have to make hard decisions for your children so that they can be successful adults. But I will tell you, when you eliminate one, you have to replace it with something. You cannot take a child from his father and then not put a man figure in his life or her life. You can't take a daughter from a mother and don't replace it with a mother figure. You have to do it. You can, it's just like anything else. If your car run out of gas, you got to go and put gas back in the car. So if you have to eliminate a parent for some other reason, you still have to replace that aspect in there. And it may not work like the original because we know that aftermarket things, they mess up. You might not get the smooth ride, but you're still getting there. But without that piece, you can't drive it all. If that makes sense to everybody. So
what do you do? Oh, you finna move on?
Go ahead. We're almost done. We got 3 minutes.
Dang, I've seen situations where they have went to court and he get custody, he gets time with the kid. Now what? Do you buck? Because I've seen situations.
I get what you're saying.
I got the call where
bad parent wasn't bad enough to get no custody.
Yeah.
So they still get custody.
He's get custody, but your child is telling you, I don't want to go over there. I don't want to go. And he outside.
See, that's difficult, right? You know why that's difficult? Because the other parent does have a right.
Yeah.
And
now
the child doesn't get to decide. Right?
No, not in that. And unless they're harmed. Like,
yes, but absent that, he didn't say that. So absent physical and emotional abuse,
you got to go to your parent. You got to go. You got to go.
But that's
because this is what happened. And sometimes
that's another good parent from your other co-parent doing a good job when they say, "Hey, I know you on, but hey, go."
You got to still go with it because a lot of times, like the parent that puts the foundation in, like they don't want to go there. They don't want to go there. They want to stay at the McDonald's parent.
Yep.
They want to stay at the one who they don't have to go to sleep at. Hey, you don't got to do schoolwork. You know what? If I go to my dad's house, I know I got to read 5 books this weekend. I don't want to go there. So you're bucking the system. So again, the two people have to be on the same page.
They gotta be on the same page.
So that's it. So all right, we got like 2 minutes. It just end up okay. So we ended the show really, 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 really good. I'm gonna say that if you liking this conversation, we're probably gonna have this conversation that he say she say. Well, I know we are. Friday from 7-11 every first Friday. I hope y'all show up. Final thoughts, Bo.
Stop hating and co-parenting.
That's right.
Okay. And Sharonda say, you're right, Q, because if you don't correct it as a child, they become a bitter adult. All right.
That's right.
Final thoughts.
Hey man, give love a chance. We got a lot of problems going on in the community. Take a step back, breathe, go see a counselor, go see a professional. You having problems with your children, go see a family counselor. Right? There's help out there for you, so go seek the help you need.
Yes.
Your pastor is not qualified to help you with your mental health.
That's not true.
Help you out though.
Sometimes they are. Sometimes they are.
You gotta vet your help.
You gotta vet. You do.
Man, get professional help.
But that's real.
You should.
Your
but
pastor is not qualified.
We put a big quotation marks around
get professional help.
Because it's the difference.
We do, but we did talk about when you can't get it. You do have it. And let me tell you, you have support system. I'm not gonna subscribe to don't do it, but you still need to vet properly. Write down those 5 things that you need that makes you happy, smile, giggle, at the end of the day, because again, we harp on what is wrong. The one bad thing happened and it overshadows the whole day, and it's been sunny and bright all day long. So we want to appreciate the sun and the beautiful weather that we have out here, right? Be the change you want to be. Tune in tonight for St. Pete Funny Podcast at 8 p.m. live on Facebook, right? Yeah. All right. This has been the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. This is Qiana.
I'm Bo. Good morning.
I never been to bar at me before.
Oh my God. And y'all have a wonderful Monday.